Student Leadership News. I'm Kai Villanueva. We open this week's student news thanks to Ms. Galar, acknowledging that Tuesday, May 25th, is the one-year anniversary of George Floyd's death. We invite you, in honor of George Floyd and the Black lives lost to police and/or systemic violence, to join us for a moment of silence. We wonder what has led our society to its current state. In the words of Dr. Hampstead, the best way to tell a story is from the beginning. Here's an excerpt of a video shared with us by Ms. Yoshida, explaining the history of policing in America.
Policing in America started in the mid-1600s with the Boston Watch, essentially a neighborhood watch group. But some of the first police forces in the South were created to control enslaved black people. They would come to be known as slave patrols. Almost all white men had to serve in these patrols.
Their duties were written into law, like the Slave Patrol statute from Louisiana in 1835.
Arrest any slave or slaves, whether with or without a permit, who may be caught in the woods or forest with any fire or torch, which slave or slaves thus arrested shall be subjected to corporal punishment not exceeding 30 stripes. So the tying together early on, the surveillance, the deputization essentially of all white men to be police officers, and then to dispense corporal punishment on the scene are all baked in from the very beginning.
The Civil War eventually brought an end to slavery in America. But for most black people in the South, it didn't fundamentally change their lives.
And by the early 20th century, the KKK would emerge to enforce control over black citizens in the South. And this pushed millions of black citizens to flee to northern, progressive cities as part of what would become known as the Great Migration.
If you would like to watch the rest of the video on your own, please scan the QR code. Here's Melissa Bojorquez with YOKA Talent Show and YOKA Book Sale.
Thank you, Kyan. Now that things have settled with digital citizenship projects turned in, teacher videos, the YOKA Talent Show link has now been released to all YOKA staff. Since it is an hour long, it is up to your advisory teacher's discretion when you will watch it. Next week, the link will be posted on the YOKA website for you to watch on your own time with family and friends. YOKA End of Year Showcase will be on May 27th from 5 p.m. to 7 p.m. From 5 p.m. to 6 p.m., a live Zoom meeting with principals summarizing the school years and an explanation of how to access the teacher videos on Google Drive. From 6 to 7 p.m., families have independent time to explore their child's teacher videos and check out samples of the Digital Citizenship Project. Now we have staff birthdays. We have on May 30th, Miss Olage, and that's all for staff birthdays. Happy birthday to all the following dragons. Happy birthday to all of you on behalf of student leadership. We hope you enjoy this special day. Back to you, Kyan.
Thank you, Melissa, and happy birthday to you all. Shout out to one of our leadership student, Sivano Mestas, for going all out on his digital art skills and creating a new birthday background. Up next is Hayden Mariano with club meeting time updates and our club Hall of Fame.
Thank you, Kyan. As the new year is coming to an end, YOKA leadership would like to thank all clubs for bringing community during these difficult times. Normally we go through each club to find any information to share. It's possible we miss things, so if you would like to share any content on behalf of your club as the year comes to an end, please reach us at leadership.yoka@gmail.com or on our Instagram leadership.yoka. Not sure if you noticed, but another change after hybrid learning was that GSA Club is now meeting Thursdays during lunch. Check out the flyer on the screen for further information. Here's this week's Our Hall of Fame. The YOKA yearbook will begin to sell next week. Buy your one-of-a-kind yearbook at the student store for just $25. The student store will be open from 7:30 to 2 p.m. That's all for me. Back to you, Kyan.
Thank you, Haiti. We hope all of you get a chance to buy this year's yearbook. Before our next segment, shout out to Mr. De La Cruz for creating a donor's choose and receiving a classroom library for him and his students. Up next is Emmanuel Hernandez with a hybrid learning schedule and COVID mobile testing.
Thank you, Kyan. Hybrid learning schedule. On Monday we have Advisory G for Good. On Tuesday we have Advisory D for Dragons. On Wednesday we have Advisory G for Good. On Thursday we have Advisory D for Dragons, and on Friday we have Advisory G for Good. COVID mobile testing. COVID tests at our convenient testing site here at YOKA. Wednesdays from lunchtime to 3:30 p.m. On Thursdays from 8 a.m. to 11:15 a.m. If you have not already heard, anyone aged 12 and up is eligible to get the COVID vaccine. LUSD is currently working on a plan to give student access to the vaccine. 8th grade culmination. 8th graders, there is still time to complete missing assignments to get your grades and qualify for culmination, but the window is getting smaller. It will be in person, and all 8th grade participants will be required to be COVID tested a week before the ceremony. On Thursday, June 10th is the boys' ceremony, and Friday, June 11th is the girls' ceremony. Qualifying students will receive 2 guest tickets that will be sitting in a section separated 4 feet from surrounding pairs. Culminating students will be sitting in the student section, separated 3 feet from other students. Masks will be required from all guests. 8th graders will practice culmination procedures on Wednesday, June 9th, starting from boys from 9 a.m. to 11:30 a.m., followed by a catered lunch at 11:30 for boys and girls, and ending with the girls' practice from 12:30 p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Final grade window has opened and will close on the last day of June 11th. If you plan to return in late work, do not wait until the last week to do so. Teachers also need time to grade, so make sure to turn it in by June 4th, or the recommended date that the teacher gives you. Keep in mind that not all teachers accept late work, so ask your teacher. Saturday school. Remember that you have the opportunity to come to Saturday school to dedicate time to complete missing assignments from 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. and have access to your teachers who can support you when you need help and keep you accountable. The opportunity is there for you. It's now up to you to make a decision. Thank you, and that's all for me.
Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you all for watching Student Leadership News. I'm Kai Villanueva, and I hope you have a great week.
Hello everyone, this is Mr. Gutierrez speaking, leadership teacher. Last week we started part 1 of our Getting into College/University series. We were able to break it down into 3 factors, in which last week we talked about academics. Today we will be talking about involvement. So colleges like to see that you are involved in extracurricular activity. Extracurricular activity is basically any activity that you do outside of school hours. It could be before school, during lunch, or after school. It can be through school or through outside organizations. Some examples of extracurricular activity is like sports. YOKA has many sports through Beyond the Bell. We have the football team. Congratulations to Mr. Morrison and the girls football team who won city champions. We also have the volleyball team. We have the soccer team. A bunch of opportunities for you that you can also carry on into high school. So again, it could be outside of school as well. Some of you might be playing at a park league, or maybe you're playing through a club league. Then we also have clubs. Clubs can be either academic, or they can be social, or even both. Examples of clubs that we have here that are academic are such as the pentathlon team. Congratulations to you all who won 2nd place this year. And then social clubs, an example of that would be like the art club, GSA, game club, crochet club, SRLA, and Bookworm Buddies Club. Again, example of how they dip into both academic and social clubs. We also have volunteer work. So the key word about volunteer is that you are not being paid for this. So you're giving your time as a form of service to help other people. So an examples of that could probably be beach cleanups, food banks, gathering donations. Shout out to Allison Garcia, who actually started that here at YOKA last year. We also have volunteering at a religious gathering. Those are all different forms of volunteer work where you are not getting paid for the work that you do. Something cool about this though is that it kind of helps you get an idea of what you're interested in. And then also down the line, you're building relationships with people who already have these high positions. So eventually you're going to see that these people in high positions actually help you out when it comes to the elaborative writing part. Teachers, if you would like to pause it, ask your students, which student is a better candidate? If you chose student 1, that is correct. So yeah, I know 4.1 GPA is a higher GPA than 3.2. However, if you have nothing else that you're doing besides school, then yeah, the expectation there is you should be getting high grades because you're dedicating your time to nothing else but studying. Student 1, however, they have a 3.2, which is still solid. They have a B. And on top of that, they're doing a bunch of other stuff. So they're showing that they're able to handle a lot of things at the same time while still taking care of responsibilities in the academic realm. In the second part, which candidate would be better? If you guessed student 1, that is correct. So I know this one will be a little bit difficult because they seem kind of balanced, but one concept that I want you to understand here is that student 1 seems to be more committed. They get into something and then they have a pretty long term with that organization that they're involved in. So that's one of the things that colleges want to look at. Are you dedicated and committed, or you keep your word to finish a season? Maybe sometimes we get into something and we don't like it and we leave midway. Although I do not encourage you to stay in something you don't consent to, but if you start something, it's the best idea to finish what you start. Once the basketball season finishes, then go ahead, let that go and try to find something else that suits you. The idea of this is for you to be able to find out what you like and what you don't like, and when you do find something you like, you keep moving forward with it. So overall, I just want you to understand that colleges like well-rounded students. They like to see that the students are involved with different interests and they have something to offer, and also take leadership positions. If you're able to get maybe president or secretary of a certain club, go ahead and do that. If you can start your own club, even better. If you can get captain of the soccer team or the baseball team, go ahead and do that as well. Anything to help you stand out, because remember, at the end of the day, you're competing against other students. Try to make yourself the best possible, refine yourself, and always be the best version that you can of yourself. Thank you so much for your time. Have a good week.